Welcome to this explainer. We're diving straight into a fascinating study guide on control and coordination, covering both plant and animal hormones. This guide was originally put together by Srinivas V. Reddy, and it takes some pretty complex biology and makes it super approachable for your exams. If you've ever wondered how living things just work without even thinking about it, you are in the exact right place. Let's get into it.
Here's our quick roadmap for today. We'll be going through an introduction to chemical messengers, an overview of plant hormones, how plants actually respond to them, the animal endocrine system, key animal hormones, and finally, a wrap-up conclusion. Section 1. Introduction to chemical messengers. Let's look at how living organisms actually manage to communicate internally. Imagine this biological mystery for a second. How exactly does a plant know to grow toward the sun without having a brain or, a nervous system? We humans have this highly complex brain and a massive network of nerves firing constantly to tell our muscles to move. But think about a sunflower or a tiny bean sprout. They don't have a single nerve cell, literally zero. Yet, they actively track the sun across the sky. They push their roots deep into the soil, searching for water. It's wild, right? This completely sets up the need for a totally different kind of non-wired communication network inside living things. So, how do they do it? The secret is hormones. A hormone is basically a chemical substance produced in the body that controls and regulates the activity of certain cells or organs. Honestly, I love to think of them as biological text messages. They're these tiny, invisible messengers traveling through an organism, carrying highly specific instructions. When a target cell receives that text message, it immediately triggers a reaction. Something like, hey, grow faster, stop growing, or release some energy. All right, moving into Section 2, Plant Hormones Overview. Let's see how this plays out in the botanical world. Since we're focusing on plant hormones here, there are 4 main types you absolutely need to memorize. First up, auxins. These guys are your directors of cell elongation. They're what actually help a plant bend toward the light. Next, we have gibberellins. These are heavily involved in overall stem growth. Then there's cytokinins, which promote rapid cell division. You'll find a ton of these in seeds and fruits, where, super fast growth is happening. And finally, abscisic acid. Now, unlike the first 3, this one's an inhibitor. It's essentially the plant's natural brake pedal. It tells the plant to slow down, stop growing, or even causes leaves to wilt and fall off when winter is coming or water is scarce. On to Section 3, How Plants Respond. Let's see these chemicals in action. Let's actually trace the journey of how a simple environmental stimulus creates a physical reaction, focusing on that famous auxin hormone we just talked about. Imagine a plant shoot. Step 1, sunlight hits just one side of that shoot. Step 2, the hormone auxin, well, it actually doesn't like the light, so it diffuses, it physically moves over to the shaded, darker side of the shoot. Step 3, because auxin promotes cell elongation, the cells on that dark side start growing way longer and faster than the cells baking in the sun. And what happens when one side of a stem grows longer than the other? It bends. The plant literally bows toward the sunlight, all because a chemical ran away from the light. I mean, what a masterpiece of natural engineering. Before we jump into human biology, let's take a quick moment to compare these two worlds. Plant hormones are generally pretty slow. They rely on basic cellular diffusion, just passing from cell to cell, and their effects are highly localized to specific areas, like a stem tip or a root. But animal hormones? Our systems have to be fast. We rely on this incredibly complex, high-speed highway, our bloodstream, to deliver these chemical messages system-wide in just a matter of seconds. And that brings us perfectly into Section 4, Animal Endocrine System. Let's look at the complex internal network inside our own bodies. Unlike plants, which kind of just casually pass hormones from neighbor to neighbor, animals have specialized manufacturing plants. We call this the endocrine system. It is essentially a network of ductless glands that secrete hormones directly into the bloodstream to regulate distant target organs. Now, the absolute key word there is ductless. They don't have little tubes pointing to specific organs. Instead, they just pour their chemical messengers right into the blood, completely trusting the circulatory system to sweep that text message to every corner of the body until it bumps into the organ with the exact right receiver. Section 5, Key Animal Hormones. Let's look at the specific chemicals keeping us perfectly coordinated. Consider this for a second. If a wild tiger suddenly walked into your room right now, a highly specific, lightning-fast sequence of events would trigger to literally save your life. Step 1, your brain detects the visual of the tiger and instantly registers danger. Step 2, Your brain fires a signal straight to your adrenal glands, which sit right on top of your kidneys, by the way, telling them to dump a massive dose of adrenaline directly into your blood. Step 3. Within seconds, that adrenaline hits your heart. Your heart rate skyrockets, pumping a huge surge of oxygen-rich blood straight to your muscles, prepping them for immediate action. That is the famous fight or flight response, and it's completely controlled by one incredible chemical messenger. Building on Srinivas V. Reddy's guide, let's break down 3 of the heavy hitters in animal hormones, where they come from and what they do. First up, the thyroid gland in your neck. It produces thyroxine, which regulates your body's overall metabolism, basically how fast you burn energy. Next, the pancreas. It produces insulin, an absolutely crucial hormone that regulates your blood sugar levels. It makes sure your cells actually absorb the sugar they need to function. And finally, the testes in males and ovaries in females produce testosterone and estrogen respectively. These are responsible for controlling sexual development and puberty. So each gland is a highly precise factory, and each hormone is a specific instruction manual for your survival and growth. Section 6, Conclusion by Srinivas. As we wrap up this explainer, let's zoom out and look at the big picture. Mr. Srinivas V. Reddy really wants you to take away this one fundamental truth from his study guide. Chemical messengers are the invisible threads that coordinate all life. Whether it's a simple plant slowly stretching its stem to catch the morning sun, or a human heart pounding out of its chest to escape danger. Without these microscopic chemical text messages keeping every single cell informed and perfectly on task, complex life as we know it simply couldn't exist. I'm going to leave you with a final provocative thought to chew on. If our bodies are complex machines, hormones are the master operators pulling the levers. So what other invisible systems are running the world around you right now? Keep marveling at the microscopic coordination that's keeping you, the plants outside your window, and the entire biological world alive. Thanks for tuning into this explainer, and best of luck on your exams.